Hey, what's up, KM? How you been? I've been enjoying your, especially your latest stream from I think it was last night. I know it was brief as a sort of test, but I'm really happy to see you streaming. I think it's going to be like the next phase of your growth as one of my favorite YouTubers, because I've been a big fan of the videos you've been doing lately, and knowing you're doing streaming makes me happy, because like once you get used to it, you're gonna love it. I feel like you're gonna do so much better than like your first few streams are already way better than my first few streams were. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Oh, you like, this is a character I think you've seen before. I think I did. I've done a few pieces of her. She's like this like cyberpunk cop, undercover cop chick. I don't know. I think I found a home for her in one of the things I've been working on. Hey, what's up, Bowdy? How long have I been streaming? You mean tonight? 9 minutes. If you mean career-wise, 7 months, I think. Maybe 6 months of streaming. I think you mean tonight, I hope. I mean, neither answer is very interesting. Bowdy, have we talked on any of my previous streams? I can't tell anymore if people are familiar to me because I've talked to them before, or if it's just they have vaguely familiar usernames. If I have forgotten you, I apologize. But I'm glad you're here. Oh, people are starting to come in. Yeah, for the first 10 minutes or so of the stream, or like first 8 minutes, there was like nobody here. And I was like, oh, this is like closer to when I first started doing this. That's how it was in the beginning. It was just empty. And then lately it's been, but this is, you know, I guess it's one of the reasons it's slower is because this is my first stream in like a week, because I just took a trip. So maybe the algorithm has forgotten me. Yeah, Rogue is awesome. Rogue is... Okay, I'm gonna say it. Rogue is one of maybe the sexiest comic book leading woman in either Marvel or DC. Sorry for the sound of me slurping. It's a part of the experience. It's a part of the experience of watching the stream is hearing me belch in the sensor. This is the illustrator's life. Bowdy says, no sir, first time. YouTube recommended your channel. I was looking for something to watch. Hell yeah. Welcome, Bowdy. Thank you for being here. You're catching me on a night it's an unusual night for me. I don't usually, well, sometimes I stream late, but it's not usually this quiet. Lately, I've had about 15 to 20 people per stream, which is good because it was much lower in the beginning. But this is a bit of a slower night so far because I'm just kind of sneaking in doing a stream. I didn't announce it anywhere, so it's a good night to meet you and get acquainted with somebody new. And KM Carter says, it's because Rogue can't be touched. I think that's partially true. I've never been one to like fetishize the unavailability of a woman. For me, I think she's attractive not because she can't be touched, but because she longs to be touched. You know? Like, you can't really have one aspect of her without the other, true. But the fact that she, like, longs for contact, and that expressing that as a part of her character because because of the fact that, you know, she can't be touched. I think that's probably what makes her so, like, appealing for a 13-year-old boy reading that comic. You know? It's like her this feeling that she's like, she just wishes she could make out with Gambit, but she can't. But then they do sometimes anyway, because they're cornballs. Or because really it's because they're in love. It's really the reason. And being a little too flippant about one of the best comic romances. You might be watching this and asking, Ryan, why are you drawing this in a way that has her fingers tangenting at the bottom of the page? The answer is, I'm an artist and my motives are inscrutable and strange. And I also started doing this sketch without realizing that it was going to turn into a 3/4 of her body, and I don't want to move it. But I'm going to. I'm going to move it. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll move it now. Because this is just too uncomfortable to look at. Jacobo says Psylocke and Storm were my X-Men crushes. I hear you. Storm is Storm's a badass. She always seemed very passionate, Storm, didn't she? She always seemed like she would be like a very devoted partner. And she was married to Black Panther for a time, wasn't she? Maybe they're still married. I don't know. The continuity in comics is such a mess right now. You could convince me of either one of those things. I wouldn't even know. But I think they were an item for a time, and perhaps still are. And Psylocke is, especially the way that Jim Lee drew Psylocke, Jacobo. The way Jim Lee draws him in draws her in like Chris Claremont and Jim Lee's X-Men run, those first 3 or 4 issues. The way he draws Psylocke, he makes her so magnetic and like beautiful. Yeah, it is true. The X-Men always had the baddest chicks. Well, you know why? In my opinion, a lot of that is because the X-Men comic, more so than a lot of other superhero books, like it has a lot more like boy girl romance, you know, teen drama stuff. So as a result, they kind of had to up their game with like, you know, as far as making sure that their characters were appealing. Because I think a lot of women I know who've read X-Men would also argue that it has some of the most attractive male characters too, which is really interesting. Like they're like, oh, well, you got Gambit, who's sexy, then you got Wolverine and Scott Summers that are both competing over Jean Grey, and a lot of women I knew who were into comics thought that was really like engaging as a love triangle, you know. So I would say a lot of it probably comes down to Jim Lee and how he drew them, how he made everybody so attractive, both men and women. And some of it is also that the writing, it compels you to ship certain characters, you know, to borrow a word from the Gen Zers. Wait, Storm had a thing with Forge. I think I remember that. And then Black Panther, and then she dated Wolverine? Do I remember that? So guys, I'm really excited because I'm going to, with this character design, I'm going to try these new watercolor brushes that I've been playing around with. But first, let me check and make sure that I'm not NDAing myself. Everybody just hold on. Everybody hold on. Let me see if I can find the original design for this character. No, I don't have it. I'm gonna have to download it. Everybody, bear with me. Dropbox. There you go. And we're back. Oh, hey, what's up, guy? What a big, tanned, beautiful man, he says. Oh, these old things. This old tan. You noticed? Yeah, I just came back from Florida, so. It's great entrance, though. Oh, yeah. Jacobo says Psylocke in that swimsuit. I would have committed serious war crimes for her. I know. He drew her, and you're talking about that spread he did with all the X-Men at a pool party, and he's got Psylocke in that bikini. It's criminal. It's criminal how he incited a pubescent rage in everybody reading that book. It's true. I have that comic. I have it like right behind me. I can't. It's funny because I prefer Jim Lee from then. I think he's fine now, but Jim Lee back in the 90s, even though people are like, well, his poses for women were really absurd, like the way that their bodies were positioned. It's like, that's absolutely true. It's still great art, and I love looking at it. And I don't really love looking at his work now. No offense, Jim Lee. His style changed. It's just not. It's not bad. It's just something about the way he drew it. Also, he had Scott Williams inking him, I believe, and Scott inked him in a way that's very different than how he inks him now, or whoever inks Jim Lee now. It's much finer line now, but he had these nice, thick, chunky lines with the fine lines working together really nicely. Everybody dated Wolverine, says Bowdy. Okay, yeah, that's true. I would have annexed Poland for Psylocke. Can we get that in a t-shirt, please? Did I draw the background? For what? The noir looks so much like Sally Bowles from the 90s Cabaret. Oh, yeah, I could see that. I was going for a kind of a character that was kind of like Pris from Blade Runner, the like kind of sexy, like the way the heavy eyeshadow. The whole idea is that she's supposed to look like a woman of the night, but she's secretly a cop. That's this. She's undercover. That's this character. But I based it somewhat on the women in Blade Runner, how they have like really overly made up, Yeah. Oh, sorry about it. Yes, the starting soon background. Here, I'll bring it up. This image I did draw. That is an illustration I did just for my portfolio for fun. That's Rykard from Elden Ring versus my design for King Arthur. This is kind of like a fan fiction piece of art. Yeah, I drew this in a mix of Procreate and Clip Studio. And then I made it my background. So, thank you. I'm assuming you like it, and that's why you're asking. I did draw that. Let's try out these brushes, guys. Let's see what's up. Guy, how are you this evening? KM, tell me about Cabaret. I've never watched it. Oh, thanks, Bobby. I'm gonna change this music. I like the synthwave stuff, but I want something a little more atmosphere. God, there are so many like Blade Runner themed ambient tracks. It's crazy. I love them all. Oh, dude, you're working on more line art? That's great, Guy. I would love to see it. Hey guys, when I put the microphone over here, can you still hear me okay? Is that okay, so I don't have to hold it the whole time? Let me know if that's okay. Tamashi says, Ryan, how do I get as good as you? Do you have any practice study tips for me? First of all, thank you for that compliment. How does one get good? God, I really wish I had like an awesome answer. The truth is that I drew constantly for like how old am I? 38 years, you know. It is important to take breaks. I try to take breaks when I can. I try to take little bits of time off, because it. Okay, the music is loud. Is that better? Is that better? I lowered the music. Let me know if that's better. Draw until your arms fall off. That's true, Guy. Well, it's also like, really, like, it's. So when I'm not drawing, I'm also trying to always find stuff that's inspiring. Like I'm always looking at movies and books and comics and animated films and you know, novels and video games and all this stuff that just like you just kind of like dump it into your brain and just always be analyzing it and I mean enjoy it and but always try to ask yourself why you're enjoying it. Like that's so important. So like an example would be like I someone asked me the other day like what drawing tips would I, you know, they asked me on Discord and I was able to articulate a little better because it was written down, but I would say think about what you want to do, like what excites you, and then find someone doing that really well. Obsessively look at their work as much as you can. Study what it is, like try to figure out what it is about it that's capturing you in that way, and then try to duplicate it on your own. This is what I did. I tried to duplicate it, and then after a certain amount of time I pulled away, and then I tried to look at something else that was offering something completely different, learned from that, and then you just keep doing that until you try to learn the best parts of other people's art, and then you try to put that together for yourself. So like for my line art, the way I do these like kind of cross-hatchy images, I look at a lot of French artists. I look at Mobius. I looked at some American, Canadian guy, Travis Charest, and then I was telling, I forgot who I was talking to about this. Maybe it was you, Guy, but I was saying like, no, it wasn't you. It was someone else in the Discord. But I was saying like, if you want to learn how to do like a great action sequence in a comic book, look at like Frank Miller, who his action is incredible. And then you just keep doing that. And then I would look at really rendered stuff. I would look at Adam Hughes because his women were always just beautiful. He would create these women that were like enchanting, where they would jump off the page and they would like, you could look into their eyes and feel like they were seducing you, and then if you want to look at like someone who paints men in a way that makes men look beautiful, look at like Olivier Coipel. You just keep looking at artists, keep absorbing their work, and then try to imitate what you can, and then move away from it and then try to like duplicate it on your own and see how you fall short of that style. And in every way you fall short of whatever perfection you perceive to be there at the finish line, and every way you fall short of that, that's actually your style. Your drawing style is just you falling short of a perfect reality, because perfection would just be a photorealistic photograph. And I'm not interested in creating that per se, but yeah. I mean, so I would say definitely seeking out constant inspiration. Like, just, I mean, you got people in the chat here who are also doing this for a living. Guy has my quote from Discord. Yeah, there it is. Travis Charest will teach about detail and cross-hatching. Adam Hughes can make really seductive characters. Ian McCaig is a great storyboard guy, etc. You have my last name first in the quote. Okay, I see where you're at, Guy. Nothing gets past Guy. He's pretty sharp. He's the official court stenographer of my streams. Oh man, I love this watercolor brush. Look at how nice this flows. Ugh. I'm barely pressing down too. That's one of my favorite things, when I don't have to obsessively like push down hard, and some of that is the pressure sensitivity settings, but oh, it's so nice. You just kind of develop. This is why I love watercolor. This is exactly what it feels like to work with watercolor. You just kind of like, little by little, just drift along the page. You just develop the image light to dark. Just relaxed. So what I'm doing with this watercolor brush is I'm doing these like big broad washes, and then I'm going to go in and do more details, because they have detail brushes here too, but I wanted to throw on the wash first. Tamashi, why don't you friend me on Discord? If anybody can drop my Discord name in the chat for me, if anyone who has it. Lord, maybe one of you guys, if you could just do me a favor, I'm sorry. If you could just drop that in for me. Tamashi, if you just DM me on Discord and friend me, I'll send you every artist that I look at. I'll just spam you with art that I love. To show you where I'm at. Something I would also say is, Tamashi, have you ever heard of the book How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way? Because I don't know a single illustrator that doesn't have that book. I don't know a single person doing this for a living that has not purchased and owned that book at one point in their life. It's amazing. I recommend it to everyone who asks me about, like, how to get to a point where you can do this professionally and all that stuff. I always recommend that book to people because it's just incredible. It's for anyone, the rare few of you who don't know what it is, it's like, it's all these comic artists of the 60s and the 70s, I know, or the 50s even, all the greats, the original greats, Romita, Kirby, with Stan Lee writing a big chunk of it, just talking about how to frame comic book panels, how to put together an image, lighting, line work, line weight, perspective, story flow, how to make it really dynamic, how to make an image jump off a page, how much detail is too much detail, how much should you pull back and let negative space take some, like, it's just like, it's like a Bible for how to work in pen and ink and how to make great comic art. And it's so, and it kind of transcends comic art, because I know people who aren't even necessarily comic book artists, or just artists in general, and they still have that book because it's so, the anatomy and it shows like how much do you want to push anatomy to exaggerate certain forms so that you create like the sense of hyperrealism or surrealism, and it's just awesome. And I had a copy my whole childhood, and then I lost it, and then so I bought another one because the book has never been out of print because it's so popular, because so many people use it. Hold on, I think my headphones are popping out a little bit. There you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, aren't these brushes nice? They're so easy. They're so chill. They're just like lovely. I love them. I was messing around with them the other day. And here's something I love. So if you go like this, and I go wide, right, it's thick, and then if I go pointed, it's narrow. I love that. So it's a lot like a real brush. I don't have to adjust the size constantly. I just have to think about the angle at which the brush tip is actually hitting the canvas. Guy says, Ryan is the best spammer I ever added on Discord, by the way. JK, he doesn't spam as much as me. Oh, you do have that book. Okay, cool. I'm sorry if anybody's bothered by me zooming in and out a lot. It's just how I draw. So for anyone who was in the chat like a month ago, don't worry. I am going to be setting up my Patreon like really soon. Now that people are actually getting their copies of Black Marrow, like people are getting them in their homes and like they actually have copies of it, I can start like advertising my Patreon for people that want to support me, so I can do a second book and get paid a little bit. Because I know there was a stream a little while ago where the whole chat was like, bro, when are you going to do this? Which I thought was really encouraging. It was like people being like, you know, we would like to subscribe. So I'm thinking for the Patreon, now that I got you guys here, now that we're alone, would you be interested hypothetically in like streams that would be just for subscribers, like patrons, or maybe like yeah, like certain streams where we're doing more like portfolio centered stuff, or streams where we're like really focused on maybe I'm revealing some part. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't want to sound really self-important. Like I think anybody gives a shit about, about like my secret parts of my process. It's like you know, I pride myself on my transparency with this stuff, so it feels weird to keep things behind a paywall. Like maybe I should just be like, hey, listen, you can get it for free, but just, you know, support me if you like me. Maybe that's the best approach. I don't know. I gotta see. I gotta test out the audience because I don't want to be one of those people that's like, do you want to see what I'm up to? That'll be $5 a month. It just feels, it's a little cringy. You gotta boast about it okay, cool, man. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll do something that's like $3 a month for people that just want to support, and then maybe like $5 a month for people that want something extra, like people who want, or maybe I'll just. I did a poll on Instagram that was like, do you want one flat fee, you know, one flat subscription fee, or different tiers, and like everybody said different tiers, but I was like, that means I'm going to be excluding some people, and I feel bad excluding anybody. It feels like I want to like make it available to people, but it's me being a little stupid, I guess. these guys. This might be a thing for me where like I do a lot of work in this style because this feels so good. I love these brushes. I'm going to advertise these. These are the AF watercolor brushes. I bought them off of an ad on Instagram. I saw them and I wanted them. Let me check. Yeah, they just looked really cool, and then I got them, and I instantly was so happy that I did. Because Procreate does have default watercolor brushes, and they are really good. But these are just like incredible. Look at that. Now it's doing detail work, and all I did was change the angle of the brush. So now I established some general washes, and I'm going in to add a little more detail. So what are you guys working on tonight? Tell me what projects y'all working on. I'd love to know. You writing tonight, KM? Working on any on your treatment right now? For anybody wondering, KM in the chat, she's a wonderful YouTuber with a great channel, and she's been doing live writing streams where you can like hang out with her while she's writing and write together, and then like take breaks together. It's a really cool idea. I don't know if she created that or not. If she did, that's brilliant. But I know she's working on a story right now that sounds like some pretty cool, like the genre seems interesting. It's like contemporary fantasy kind of thing. It sounds awesome. With an ensemble cast of like lovable characters, and so pretty great. We need good fiction like that. So. See, that's just like a watercolor brush that it can be. It's like it is its own blending tool, you know. Oh no, feel better, okay? Sorry you had a migraine. Get some sleep. Thanks for stopping in. I'm so glad you were here. Oh, I missed some stuff here. You, oh, you're working on a Dragon Ball comic? That's really cool. Yo, Jacobo, send that to me when you're done. I want to see that, please. I think her jacket could be like a kind of a green. Oh yeah, I see. That's great. Oh my god, guys, I love this. This brush in particular is just awesome. The smoothness of it is just so nice. And what's cool is that you don't really have to layer in textures because it's already kind of doing that, you know? Because the watercolor texture creates, you know, a look. Yeah, what are you using to color it, Jacobo? You doing analog? You using paint, markers? Are you doing digital? What are you up to? What about you, Guy? Did you tell me what you were up to tonight? Are you working right now or are you just chilling? So I'll tell you what's going on with me, guys. Me and my fiance just got back yesterday from a trip to Florida where I got to see some family and while we've been while we've been gone, we had somebody feeding this cat. That's our cat now. This stray cat kept coming around, and my lovely fiance, with her beautiful big heart, she started feeding it and taking care of it. And then once we took the cat in, we found out the cat was really sick, and my fiance has just been like rescuing this cat from disease and death for like the better part of, I want to say, almost a full month, just devoting all of her free time to helping this cat heal from its many ailments. And it looks like all of her work has paid off and that the cat is actually going to be okay. Like more than one there was more than one point where I was like, I'm pretty sure this cat is dying. were just like slowing its demise because it had so many things wrong with it. This little kitty that was just, you know, alone in the streets and all that. But she never gave up. She was diligent. She was smart. She was compassionate, and she saved the cat. Now the cat looks like he's gonna be all right. Seems like it anyway. He's healing, so that's pretty cool. You see, so something I would do in the Patreon is I would, at the end of the stream, I would have, or you know, for the Patreon streams, I would have all the brushes listed and available for people that wanted to use them, if you guys wanted that. I don't know. It's possible I'm overthinking it and that people will just do it just so they can hang out and support the art. And if that's the case, I'm sorry for being silly and talking about all this stuff that's like not really the issue. You're finishing some files to send to print? Okay, cool. So you're doing client work tonight, it sounds like. Jacobo uses Photoshop for colors. Okay. Guy says sticker sheets and stuff alongside the first cards for the boosters. I'm a bit anxious to see how they will look like. I mean, you're really good, guy, so they're going to be good. The odds that they're not going to be good are very, very slim because I've seen your work and I've looked at it a lot. And if anyone isn't following Guy on social media, you really should. His work is... He's such a good painter. His designs are really... So I go on a lot during my streams because I listen to kind of relaxing music and everybody probably thinks I'm narcoleptic. What was I talking about? Yeah, his designs have so much personality and life in them. They're really cool. You see, with the watercolors, if you're like, oh, I want the colors to be more rich, all you got to do is just select duplicate, and then it'll copy the layer and it'll add another layer to it, because you know watercolors naturally very low opacity. But I don't know, maybe it looks cooler to just have the thin, you know. What if I blur it? Does it look... Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. No, I don't think it's flattery. I think you really are that good. But I get it. See, so this could be done for like a watercolor kind of sketch. This could be the end of it. Maybe I'll develop it a little more before I go to bed. It's late, so this is not going to be a very long stream. But maybe that's too shiny. Have you been following Dan's? I think you've been on his latest streams, right, guy? I think I've seen you there. The pieces he's been doing lately have been fucking awesome. They've been just wonderful. Like he's just. I know he complains about how long it takes him to do a piece, and I get it. It would bother me if it took me a long time. Well, I mean, also I don't really work on paintings like that. so it probably would take me a long time. But yeah, it would bother me because I like to move quickly, and having to spend months on a piece would be, you know, not ideal for my enjoyment. I don't know if it affects his enjoyment of it. I don't know if he gets sick of it, or if it's just he wants to get more volume done in a year because he has all these goals and things he wants to do, you know. But putting that aside, he's been doing amazing, beautiful pieces. Like Dan has just been killing it lately. I just texted him today to find out, just as an update for how his mother's doing, because I know she was getting surgery. So I sent him a text and we talked for a little bit. I didn't know when it was, the surgery. You know, he's been talking about the surgery on his streams. I think it's next week. So let's all think positive thoughts for Mama Warren, and hope that the surgery goes off without any problems, without a hitch, as they say. Because, you know, God bless her. Hey, what's up, Edgar? I'm actually going to be signing off in a second. I'm done for the night. I'm sorry if I'm talking low. I'm just tired. But I want to read the chat real quick. Yeah. I hear you, guy. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off for the night. Sorry. It's late. I'm tired, and I'll do a longer stream tomorrow, okay? Today was just crazy because of the cat. Taking care of this cat. But I love you guys. Thanks for showing up.